And we are live. Hello, YouTube and Facebook and the rest of the world. My name is Terry Thompson, and I am the host of Unbreakable Stories. And I see that it's working because right now it just popped up on my screen that we are live on Facebook. Yes, we're live on Facebook. I see it. It just popped up. Now, I haven't seen it on the YouTube channel yet, so I'm trying to sort that out. And we're live on YouTube. I just saw that too. So I'm having fun. Anyway, I'm having a Zan moment here. Zan, man, we love you, brother. So we are now live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook. My name is Terry Thompson. I'm the host of Unbreakable Stories, along with my co-host here, Bonnie. And tonight we just wanted to go live to say Happy New Year. That's right. Happy New Year. You know, here's the deal. It is the last day of the year, and we're about ready to go into the new year 2022, and it's going to be the first day of the year. But if you know anything about me, every day is Monday. That's right. Every day is Monday. Now, here's the thing. And you know, at the end of the year, everybody always wants to make these goals, and they're like, "Oh, new year, new me. I got these resolutions, and I'm gonna crush it at the gym. I'm gonna get that new boyfriend. I'm gonna go make $11 million and all these different things." And oh my goodness, it every year it's like clockwork, and people are on this hamster wheel, if you will, of constantly reinventing themselves, constantly doing all these different things. And we're going to scuba dive right on into that. So scuba dive is a little insider joke. Bonnie and I have this little scuba dive joke going on from a Will Smith video where he was struggling to say dive. It was so hilarious. But we're going to dive right on into this. So, Bonnie, man, what are your thoughts? New year, new you, end of year, habits, goals, resolutions. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, so I am so excited and so ready for 2022. But as we've been talking about for at least the past week, 2022 really starts with the end of 2021, and I think although the holidays are meant to be spent with family and enjoying yourself and having a good time and relaxing, I think a lot of people give up in the month of December and kind of like instead of Christmas or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate being a holiday, it becomes like a holiday month, and people are just like, I'm done, I'm out, and in certain industries, it's like over. So like in the insurance industry and industries where they have quotas, people are trying to cram a ton of business in December, and it's like super stressful, and those people don't get to enjoy the holidays. So I think there's got to be some kind of happy medium balance and thinking forward to what it is that you want to accomplish in 2022 or the following year, whatever year that may be coming up here in the future. Because if you start planning on January 1st, which most people don't because it's a holiday, January 1st turns into the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and pretty soon you're halfway through January and you still don't have any idea what it is you want to accomplish for, the month, let alone the year. And so, yeah, and then that's where you have people getting super psyched up and making these long lists of audacious, and I'm all for audacious goals, but they make these audacious resolutions and they try to tackle too many things too big at once, like immediately, versus, in my opinion, versus creating new habits and taking bite-sized chunks out of a bigger goal. So that's a summary of my thoughts, and I know we always have great conversations and elaborate on things, but that's my initial thoughts on
I
on
love
that.
it. And, and I'm guilty of this as well, too. So I remember in the past, I used to try to make all these goals. And I was like, man, these are my goals. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose 5,000 pounds and I'm going to get buff. I'm going to be on the cover of Ripped magazine and this, that, and the other. And man, and I struggled during those days because I often found out that, motivation really only goes so far. Inspiration really only goes so far. And you've heard me say this many times. It's like, there's those moments where I'm not always motivated. I'm not always inspired. I'm committed. And when I get committed to certain things, there's nothing stopping me. If I'm committed, I'm going to do something. I will not make no excuses, no nothing. And I see Zan just showed up, so I just wanted to send a huge shout out to Zan. Thank you very much for being here. And I always tell everybody, I'm like, I'm not always motivated, I'm not always inspired, but I'm committed. And when you're committed, that's a whole different level of thing. You will understand that when you are committed to something, you will no longer make excuses on why you can or cannot do something. You're going to do it regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstances, and you are going to do the things that you say you're going to do. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. So I like the word conviction, slightly different, but it falls in the same realm. And I stopped setting specific ginormous goals a while ago, only because, at least immediate, being that I have multiple chronic illnesses, I found myself in this trap where when I was feeling really good, I would set these massive goals without any idea how to reach them or what steps were involved or how long something that really actually realistically took. And then also did not factor in that it's almost like there's that saying where don't make a promise when you feel good and don't make something else when you're not feeling good. There's some saying that's basically like, I would get so excited and so psyched up and about these things that I wanted to do. Prime example was in 2019 when the Unbreakable campaign first started, its first round. And then I got the sickest I had ever been in 7 or 8 years, and everything I had written out detail for 9 months, or not 9 months, for the next 90 days, the next 3 months, went out the window because I was already 4 weeks behind by the time I was feeling better, and it was devastating. So for me, I have a general goal end goal in mind, bigger goal. And then my conviction helps me make decisions about all of the things that I do daily and whether or not those things are going to help me reach this end goal. So it's really, for me, is based on values, not necessarily like write 5 books or lose 50 pounds, or it's more like be as healthy as I can be, help as many people as I can. Like different, it sounds more ambiguous, but that gives me a little bit of flexibility, and I don't have that negative psychological impact that I think a lot of people get when they set massive resolutions that they really either A, don't intend on fulfilling, or B, don't know how to. And then, a month into it, they're feeling horrible and guilty. And then it's kind of like, well, I give up on everything. And that it honestly has a really negative psychological impact on people. So, yeah, I focus on habits, and I focus on my morals, my core values, and how I can become like the best version of myself, basically. So it's a little different way to do it, but it works for me.
No, I love it. And when you're committed, when you have that conviction of like, I'm going to do this, it's like, maybe that's not the best way to use that word, but when you really want to achieve something, so many people put it into categories, and this is how I've heard it. It's like, oh, I can do that. Well, do it then. Oh, I should have done that. You're probably right. You should have, or I could do that, or I could have done that. Well, why didn't you? What was holding you back from doing those things? And it's like, well, I would have done that, and then I always question those things, because when you start to question those things of like shoulda, coulda, woulda, instead of shoulda and all over yourself, you might as well just go ahead and do the thing and get it done. Because I love one of our friends, Kever, how she always says it, she always says to done. It's a whole lot better to say to done than it is to do, because I hate to-do lists. I really do. And that was one of the reasons why I created my planner, because I got so tired of having these massive to-do lists of like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 things, 5 pages of stuff stapled together, another piece of page crumpled up and taped onto the end of it, and this, that, and the other. And it used to drive me nuts, because I looked at all these things, and yet I felt overwhelmed of really nothing to do. And it's like, well, I could do that. I should do that. I must. And I always turn it into like, I must do that. And once you narrow it down to what is the most important thing that you can do every single day, I think that's where it starts getting important, because you have to prioritize things. So when it comes to prioritizing things, and I think that's a major part of, any type of thing that you want to get done, whether it's the end of the year, new year, or just every other Monday, whatever the case, what are your thoughts on prioritizing things? Because I think there's a lot to unpack with that.
That falls very much in line with how I was trying to explain how conviction ties into how I plan, because my health is number one priority now. It didn't used to be, and that's how I ended up in the position I was in. So I wake up feeling great. I've got these XYZ things that I'm going to do. There are bare minimums that I get done, like, drinking my protein, taking my supplements, doing my stretches, listening to my EFT, things that help me be the healthiest version of myself. And I also do those things when I'm not feeling well. So that the bare minimum, those things for me are top priority, because I know that if I do those consistently every single day, that overall, I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have fewer sick days, and so those take priority for me. And then everything else is planned based on, like you said, what's most important. So there's certain things that have to get done. Like my kids have to get to school. You have to make sure everybody's fed. Like there's all these different things, right, that come high priority. And the rest of it, I look at in terms of, what have I already committed to doing? So like your word commitment, if I've committed my time to somebody else, that's going to be at the top of my list, my priority list. And then the other things that I'm working on long term, I will prioritize by whether or not they have a deadline, an immediate deadline or extended deadline. And then there's some other ways that I plan in the rest of the things. Sometimes it has to do with how I'm feeling. Sometimes it has to do with what's the weather. Sometimes it has to do with, our kids homesick and miserable. And I say weather, and I know that sounds funny, but when I wake up and it's pouring down rain and it's 12 degrees outside, my body just is like it doesn't want to move. So I'll do less physical tasks and save the more physical tasks for another day when the weather's not quite as miserable. So I have an interesting way of prioritizing and managing my health kind of at the same time.
So. I love that. And I don't think I have quite the system like that, because there's a lot of different things that I'm doing each and every day. So for me to really get down to the bottom line of what the most important thing is, sometimes that changes for me. It really does. And it does get frustrating, because I wake up every day and I have an intention of what it is that I want to intentionally focus on. And I really believe that intention is a very key word here, because what you focus on, it gets results. What where your attention goes, energy flows. And the thing is that, sometimes I do tend to bounce around quite a bit. I'm juggling different things. And that's the reason why it does get to be super important to really prioritize what are those things. And here's my take on that. If everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. But you really must get down to, like, what is that bottom line up front? What is that priority? What is that number one thing? What is that most important thing? And at the end of that, here's where it comes down to. It comes down to you. You are the most important priority, because you have to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And that's where it really gets important. You must take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And I truly mean that. And there's a lot of people that are out there that they wait until the end of the year to take care of themselves. They wait until the new year to take care of themselves. And, and they kind of partially take care of themselves. And then you get partial results and wonder why you're partially able to do certain things, because you're not committed. You're not committed. And I understand. Bonnie, I love your quote that you say about don't let life get in the way of living. And every single day is an opportunity. We're living our lives every single day, but I have to challenge that. Are you truly living? are you truly living? And I think that there's a lot of people, yeah, you're breathing, you're moving around maybe, and doing different things, but are you truly living? And what's the difference between, is there a difference?
Yeah, so that quote to me, um, that came about because, man, life has always thrown stuff at us, good, bad, ugly, so people that maybe don't quite align with what it is we're trying to do. I mean, all kinds of stuff comes. One of my favorite phrases is adapt and overlap, and that's basically how we spent the past 5 to 7 years of my life. Is well, longer than that, actually, to be honest. Adapting to what was happening and overlapping things, especially having small kids at home. Like, they're doing this and I'm doing that, and we're both getting what we need to get done. But that came about because I realized that happiness, joy, attitude, motivation, inspiration, all of that stuff is a choice. And if we're constantly letting what's going on around us in life affect our mood in a negative way, or we're completely dependent or reliant on somebody else to motivate, inspire us all the time, we're not really living. We're not really able to do life. And so I had to get really clear on what it is and how I wanted to feel and what I needed to do in order to feel that way, because it was nobody else's responsibility to make that happen but mine. And it's basically like, you can't let the crap going on around you ruin your life. Like, you have to find a way, and trust me, there's some things that are way more intense or traumatic than others, and there's a healing and grieving process. But in general, the guy flips you off driving down the road, like, if you want to let that ruin your whole day, go for it. But me, I'm like, sorry, you're having a bad day, and I move on, because Dr. Joe talks about this a lot. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Sometimes people will have like one bad moment that turns into a bad hour, a bad day, a bad week, and pretty soon your personality has completely morphed into what that one, like, 5-second moment really was about. And so I just work really hard not to let outside stuff drag me down. Can't let
And
that
it can
life ruin my
snowball from
living.
there. It can truly snowball from there. So, like, one thing really can kind of trigger many different things, but you really have to be emotionally strong. I truly believe, and not allow those triggers to really kind of send you down a rabbit hole, because it really can, and it can snowball absolutely out of control if you let it. And I struggle with that as well too. Don't get me wrong. Every single day I struggle immensely with that right there. I struggle with it, because the moment that something negative gets in there, I want to squash it. I want to crush it. I want to get rid of whatever that is. That's like, hey, Terry, you need to stop, guy. You need to slow down, because I want your attention too. And that's what it is. It's that fight for attention. It's that fight for action every single day. And it all begins right there within your head. And when you build that mental muscle up right there, everything else is an extension of how strong that is right there. And that's what I want to kind of dive into next, is some tips, tools, some techniques in order to build that right there, because everything starts right there within your mind and is an extension of that. And I know for me, one of the biggest things that I do is I read books. Okay, I read books. I listen to a lot of motivational, inspirational, thought leadership type content. And I truly believe that what you surround yourself with is what you will become. And if you dive into that negativity, if you dive into TV, if you dive into news, you dive into the drama, the TikTok videos, the reels, all these things that are out there just fighting for your attention, fighting for your life, that is exactly what you're going to become. You're going to sit there and have those thoughts of, well, gosh, can I really dance today? Can I move around or do whatever the case may be? And those, I mean, that's great if that's what your thoughts are. But I know me, I want that to be strong. I want that to stay focused. I want that right there to be as sharp as possible. So I focus on those good things. And when those bad things do tend to get in the way, and they do, I knock them out. And I'm going to give a framework for that later on. I'm not going to go into that now, but I want to give a framework for that. But for me, it really is building that. And I build that up with books, videos, audio, talking to great people. Because Bonnie, I know you and I, we've had some amazing conversations. And when I leave that conversation, I feel like that is just stronger. It's stronger. It's filled. It's ready to go. I was like, I'm ready to go take action. And I can take that energy and go do something with that instead of getting defeated by watching, TikTok, reels, the news, all this negativity that's out there. I feel completed when I talk to you, when I fill myself up with good books, good videos, good conversations. And when that's full, you can take that and give back to other people, because you must take care of yourself once again first, so that you can take care of others. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. That overflow is amazing to be able to share with others, and it becomes very contagious too, and almost an addiction in effect. That when you're feeling super psyched and excited and motivated, inspired, and you just want to share that with everybody you come in contact with. But I absolutely agree. It's about mental toughness, but it's also learning that other people's stuff, opinions, it's not your problem. Like not in a non-compassionate way. Like I have compassion, empathy for other people. But if you've got somebody stomping around angry and they're, it's not your responsibility to fix that. But it's also not your responsibility to take on that anger. It's not helpful. It's not, all it does is multiply that. And then nothing actually, it's not a solution to anything. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's knowing that most of the time also somebody's bad mood has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. Somebody's negative actions towards you has nothing to do with you. And knowing that I can stop that negative ripple effect by not allowing it to affect me, and then pass that on to the next person that I come into, because that's what happens to a lot of people. You're on the highway or whatever, you get flipped off, or somebody cuts you off, and then you're driving a little bit more and something else happens and you're flipping off the next guy. It's just like this negative ripple effect versus a positive one. And it's just,
I'm waving at Nina.
Oh, hi, Nina. It's just yeah, like if you have the opportunity and the person is open to it, and you're able to offer assistance and help them bring their mood back to an elevated level, great. But just know that person that you know, at the grocery store or out and about, and I haven't been out, so now I'm trying to rack my brain of like, what do people do out in public? And I'm having a really hard time, if you can't tell. Those people, their negativity isn't about you, and it's not your job to take that on. Is the easiest way to say that.
I love it. And, and here's the interesting thing is that there are some people that are out there that really feel like it's their responsibility to take on that responsibility of other people's, pain and other people's mindset and other people's struggles. And, as leaders, as coaches, teachers, trainers, mentors, leaders, whatever label we want to put on that, oftentimes that can be a little bit overwhelming, because we feel compelled as well too to really step in, interject, offer advice, offer those tips, tools, techniques, and resources. And sometimes here's the thing. Sometimes all that is needed is really just that helping hand, that reach out, like, hey, you need a helping hand. You need something, whatever that may be. And sometimes we feel truly compelled to really want to reach out. But at the end of that, that can really take a toll on someone if you take it too far. So what would you recommend? How would you not take things like that too far? Because I know you're a mother. You really feel compelled to reach out, as and give that mother love, that mother help, that mother hand. How do you stop yourself from either giving too much, or when do you know when to stop on moments like that?
Oh, so that was a really hard lesson to learn. And I'm sure I'm going to have more opportunities to learn at a deeper level at some point. So for me, the first instance of the Unbreakable campaign was a really good example of that, because when I started collecting people's stories, I opened myself up to people sharing their trauma with me. And I had people reaching out to me constantly via DM, not people who wanted to really be a part of the campaign, but people who really needed help. And I felt responsible, obligated. I'm not sure what the right word, responsible, and took that on because I felt like, these people trusted me, they opened up to me, et cetera, et cetera. But I was not equipped yet to set up, or maybe I hadn't set up boundaries. I wasn't super aware of how boundaries worked at that point, to protect my own energy. And I didn't understand that although I offered to help people in the way that I was, it didn't mean that I had to offer or extend help any way anybody needed it at any time.
Mm.
And that was the big distinction for me, was not to mention the fact that if you're in a position like that and people are asking you for advice and you're not quite equipped to give them proper advice, you could be doing more damage than you are doing good. So I'm just going to leave that
Mm.
little side note there. But it came when I started feeling really, really guilty for not being able to help a lot of these people. And I finally had
Mhm.
to take a step back because I was getting really, really sick. And physically just completely exhausted, depleted, because I was mentally and emotionally depleted and exhausted. And so I had just started mentoring with David Meltzer. So working with him and kind of asked him a lot of questions. It's like, I feel like this about this, and I don't understand why this. And he really helped me understand that as a lifetime people pleaser, not feeling like I was doing enough, or OCD, labeled person, um, I was allowed and worthy of setting boundaries to protect my own mental and physical health, and um, ask for help, and also direct people. Helping them was also being able to direct them to someone who could help them better than I could in those certain situations. So that's a long version. The short version is just say no. Um, we can't do everything for everyone all the time. There's also that fine line where it becomes enabling and you're not really helping them anyways.
I
So
love that. And the one thing that you need, that's a very powerful word right there, enabling. You definitely do not want to enable people, because that works two ways, both positive and negative. And, on the negative side of that's, not necessarily enabling, that's disabling, but more importantly, gaslighting as well too. And you definitively do not want to do that right there. So be careful. I know myself, I always try to stay positive, but I think that the more that the better questions that you ask,
that
you can really let them say more than you need to. And oftentimes as coaches, teachers, trainers, mentors, sometimes we get down that rabbit hole of wanting to say too much or help too much or give too much, when really all the other person was looking for was someone to listen to them. And I think that's really important, is being there to really listen, because I've had some people that I've had conversations with, and really the only thing I really did was listen. And at the end of that, I didn't have to say anything except for very minimal key points. And then at the end of that, they were welcome. It was like, thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for allowing me to vent. Thank you for being there. And that's really important. So let's dive into habits, goals, and resolutions, because it's the end of the year, and that was the original idea of the conversation here. And I have my answer on this. And you may have the same answer. You may have some different thoughts and opinions on this, because at the end of the year, too many people, they start diving down this rabbit hole of, man, goals. I'm going to crush my goals. I'm going to create new goals. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, achieve those things. And then I'm going to make these resolutions. I resolve to lose 5,000 pounds. I resolve to go get that new boyfriend or that new girlfriend or whatever. I'm going to make $11 million, whatever the case may be. And then there's habits. But I want to hear your take on goals, resolutions, and then we'll dive into habits afterwards.
So I used to make resolutions with the giant rest of the population that does this. And I feel like for a lot of people, resolutions are one of those things that sounds really good or looks really good on paper, or we're doing because everybody else is doing it.
Briefed well. It sounded great.
Yeah, it's just people make resolutions not really thinking what it means to fulfill those. Like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Okay, what actually goes into 50 pounds is a lot of weight. What do you have to do to lose 50 pounds? Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to lose 50 pounds. And then they become very disillusioned when they find out that it's work and that you have to do it every day, and you have to say no to things that you really, really like or that taste good. And, you may have to go walking or running or lift weights or whatever, do things you don't really like to do. And I realized that a lot of the resolutions that I had been making for a long time had more to do with what just sounded good in the moment. Like, is it something I even really wanted to do? Like, if I lost 50 pounds right now, we'd have a problem. So like, I'm not making that resolution. But some years ago, after having multiple children, that maybe that was a good idea, and as far as goals, like I said, goals really changed a lot for me in the past few years, because I was constantly setting myself up for failure, not having any idea. And I'm not saying like, oh, I want to do this massive thing and this is going to be great and I'm going to figure out how to do it, because we've talked about some of those really cool things now, but we're not also putting an end date on it, like in 4 weeks. Like, we're going to have 300,000 followers and that's just completely unrealistic. And that's the kind of goal setting I was doing, because I was getting into so many different new things. I really didn't have a grasp on how long things actually took. And then things would come up and I had little kids and I'd get sick. And then all of a sudden I was feeling like a piece of crap because I, hadn't even gotten started on that list. So I look at them, like I said earlier, I don't put as strict of a time frame on everything I do anymore. Perfect example, this new business that I'm getting into. I actually asked somebody else, because I get to write a business plan. And I was like, what? I've never done this before. What is reasonable for someone like me in their first year of this to actually accomplish? Like, give me a high and a low, and I'll settle, somewhere in the middle. And that worked so much better for me because I had someone who was experienced, that understood how this stuff works, give me like a range. And so that's going to go in my business plan. I also have this support person, which is a big difference than when I was trying to build my other stuff and it was just me. So I'm really excited to talk about the habits part, because I am not the super best person to ask about goals. I have them, but I have stopped putting very strict time limits on most of them. just also because a lot of the spirituality and law of attraction and kind of esoteric work I've been doing the past couple of years. And I noticed that when I let go of that strict time frame, stuff comes to me way faster than I had ever expected in the first place. So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. And Lexi just joined us. She's backstage. I'm going to bring Lexi up here very shortly so she can join in the conversation. But I just quickly wanted to kind of expand on what it is that you said right there. And it's those goals and those resolutions. There's really a conundrum between the two. There really is, and I truly believe that there's a giant conundrum between goals, resolutions, and then we're going to dive into habits. Now, keep this in mind. Goals have not happened yet. Resolutions have not happened yet. It's like, these are my goals. These are the things that I want to accomplish. These are those things that I'm going to take action on every single day. I'm motivated. I have goals. I'm inspired. I resolve to take action every single day. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I am going to do these things. And you get about 30 days in and you realize, man, this sucks.
I really like how you put that at the beginning, though, too, is that those are things that haven't yet happened.
They have not happened
We
yet.
have to realize them.
Exactly. And you have to take action every single day in order to achieve those things. And the thing, I always tell everybody, look, you must have the right attitude and the right action every single day if you want to achieve results. And results may vary depending on the action that you take. You may have a lack of information. You may have a lack of resources. You may not even have the right attitude or even taking the right action to achieve the results that you are striving for, those goals, those resolutions. But this is where it gets really powerful. Habits. Because habits have already been established. Habits are those things that you have already clearly defined. You've already taken action on. You are achieving those things every single day. Those habits are already deeply ingrained within you. You're doing them. You're knocking them out of the park. You're rocking it. It's a habit. It's a daily thing that, you know what? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm doing this stuff. It is a habit. And I think that's where it gets important. So when we get to the end of the year, we get to the new year, when we get to every day is Monday, I will always strive for better habits. And when I clearly establish that habit and it's ingrained, it's there. I just can't get rid of it. I have to do this. It's a must for me. But yet those goals, those pesky little goals, those pesky little resolutions that have not happened yet, oh my goodness, what do we do with those things? What do we do with them? Because they could happen. They might not happen. They could partially happen. Any additional thoughts on that?
I just really love habits. one of the biggest things that took me a little while to grasp, but once I did, really, really helped me and not be constantly beating myself up for not making, not completing, not completing, but not hitting those time bound goals is what I was getting at, was the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, which includes creating and building better habits and course correcting as necessary. So I'll give you a great example of something. I have a goal of being able to do both front splits and side splits. However, I do not have a timeline for that. I have zero idea how long, especially with my goofy body, that kind of thing takes. But what I do know is what you need to do every single day to eventually be able to do front and side splits. So I do those things every single day as part of my stretching routine. And I'm still a good 4 inches off the ground for my front splits and probably a lot off the ground for a middle side split, because my hips just don't, they like to lock up.
Yeah.
But I have made it a habit every single day as part of my stretching routine, that consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential and eventually being able to do splits. And that's a personal goal. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's no, it's not a professional goal. But I can see the difference between when I couldn't even get to where I could hold myself up on the floor. Like my leg, it was impossible. Like I'm holding onto a couch and a chair because I was like 2 feet off the ground. And now I've got 4 inches left. And I've been doing that for like the last maybe year and a half, 2 years. But the goal is still there. The resolution is still there. And the habits are helping me get to where I want to go with no specific timeline.
Mm-hmm.
That's making me a better person. It's helping me be more committed. It is helping with my flexibility and my pain, although I'm sure there's a lot of people on here cringing, going, oh my God, why would you want to do that? It helps my mobility. There's a lot of different things within that. And that's how we can look at a lot of different fitness goals. Because here's the thing, if you do set out to lose 50 or 100 pounds or 25 pounds by the end of this year, and you lose 24 and a half, did you fail?
No, not at all.
Exactly. But if you're going based on time-bound goals in 1 year and you're technically you failed, right? Like looking on paper, you would have missed your goal. You would have missed
Right.
the end line. And I don't think about stuff that way anymore. Again, because of spiritual and esoteric work, but that doesn't mean that I'm not working on my habits and trying to improve every single day. And that's what's most important to me.
I love it. And you hit on 2 very key points right here. And that's the habits that I really, truly believe that people need to get into the habit of doing. And that's taking action.
Absolutely.
Get into the habit of taking action because, as we said, results may vary. But if you enjoy the process, you enjoy the habit, you enjoy the action that you are doing every single day, and just modify, just tweak, just change your mindset just a little bit and understand that, you know what, the one thing that you can control your attitude towards whatever it is that you face within life. You can control the actions that you can do every day within your life. You might not necessarily always be able to control the results, but once you control your attitude, once you control your action, you are in control. You are in charge. And when you enjoy that, I love it. I love the action. And the other key point that I want to make here is the habit of giving yourself grace, giving yourself that victory, giving yourself that little bit of a win. Because here's the deal. If you achieve something, you won. You achieved something. It was a result. And I always tell everybody, no matter whether those results are big, small, positive, or negative, they are in fact results. And it's up to you to modify, tweak, or change, continue taking action, and achieve a new result. And when you twist that attitude, keep that attitude on track and keep those actions on track, you will continue achieving results. All right, so we have a friend that we're going to bring up here on stage very quickly. She's been waiting very patiently in the background, and she's been celebrating because she's already quite a few years, or not years, but hours ahead of us. And she has been celebrating the new year before we were. So let's go ahead and get Lady Lexi up here to the stage here. Lady Lexi, Happy New Year.
Cheers.
She's on mute.
Happy New Year.
There we go.
It's
Now
been
we
2
got
hours
volume.
now since 2022.
Awesome.
Has it been a good year so far?
It's been a great year. I've been over at friends, so we made some reels and some videos and some pictures together. So and we've spoken about it for over a decade, I believe 2 decades, that we wanted to celebrate Christmas and the New Year's Eve together. So back in the days we did. And then kids came and I had my pets, my cats and all. And of course, we couldn't leave the cats alone. And no, the cat who needed it most isn't around anymore. So I said, well, let's celebrate. So here I am.
That's
I
awesome.
love it, Lexi. Thank you very much. I don't drink, so for me, it's water tonight.
You know what this
We got
is?
coffee.
It's iced tea. Green iced tea.
It's green iced tea.
Because I don't drink either.
It's
But
flavored
we
with
wanted
sugar, I swear.
Yeah, we wanted it to look festive.
It does. It looks
Yeah.
like champagne.
So we had, I don't know what the words are, and I can't show you right now. I wanted to show them an oliebol. Do you still have one in the kitchen? Oh, I'm going to show you a typical Dutch thing. She's going to get one. I loved what you said, by the way, about the goals and the targets. So my brother made a little bit of a joke. I needed a manual screwdriver because he had boarded up some doors, and they were no longer around at the house which belonged to my parents. So he said, "Yeah, now you need to use a drill, an electrical drill." And I was like, "I don't want to do it." And oh yeah. So this is Dutch treat, and we're going to put a little bit of. You've got powder, right, or not? Oh no, you don't. Normally you put white sugar powder on there, and then that's what we eat. It's absolutely fat. It's not good when it comes to your weight. So I'll just show you what it looks like when you do it in full. Then you've seen the Dutch treat. And we call this an oliebol, which roughly translated would be oil ball.
Oh.
So this is what it looks like.
Oh, look at that.
It's keto friendly.
You don't want to, there are raisins in there. So that's what you see. And it's kind of greasy. So you don't want to eat too much of this. So now you've seen some Dutch treats.
That's really
I love it
for Christmas.
You know, for New Year's, speaking of treats, New Year's, there's different traditions everywhere. Worldwide, there's different traditions depending on where you are on what it is that you eat. Now, I grew up in the South. So when I was younger, I lived in Texas and Oklahoma, and we always had these Southern traditions of having pinto beans and cornbread at New Year's. So we would all be out and about. We'd be listening to live music at whatever bar, club, facility that we were in, and we'd be listening to the band, and right around midnight the band would stop playing, or the band would play, you know, bringing in the new year, the song, I forget what it's called, but basically would bring in the new year. And then we would bring out the food. We would have all kinds of food, just corn, but the biggest thing was the pinto beans and the cornbread. That was an absolute must for New Year's. So speaking of food,
healthier than what we are having over here.
So what is like that one food item that you have to have for New Year's? For me, it's that pinto beans and cornbread.
Yeah, the oliebol.
Okay.
Yeah,
what about you, Bonnie?
That's the one thing that you need to have.
So I'm partially Dutch. There's Dutch in my heritage somewhere, and German and English, and like lots and lots of European different cultures all mixed together by the time it got to me. But so sauerkraut and pork are big things here, especially in Pittsburgh. There's also pierogies, which are, I think, Polish. So I got to try like lots of different things. We have like kibasi hot dogs kind of sometimes fell in for like the actual pork roast because pork roast was expensive back in the day. And what we have here, so my husband's making a pork roast tomorrow, but the one thing I really like is, and I have a picture of it on my Facebook page somewhere, I made one year, is a Dutch New Year's pretzel. Where I actually, did the whole bread from scratch thing for the first time. This was several years ago, and then braided it and then looped it and baked it in the oven. Yeah, I know
what you mean, but I believe it's German or from Austria.
Maybe.
Die pretzels, die geweven pretzels, dat is toch typisch Duits of Oostenrijks? Yeah, my friend says Austria too.
Or maybe German?
Yeah, maybe? That could be too. So when you have those little barn-like shaped houses that you have on the Christmas markets, that's where they actually sell those pretzels.
Okay. Yeah, I am not super great with the heritage thing because neither one of my parents talked the whole. I just knew we're this. Okay, great.
Well, maybe in the south of the Netherlands, that could be true. I mean, it's related to Germany and Belgium, so that could be the answer you're looking for. But over
Maybe.
here, above the rivers, no.
Yeah, it was called a Dutch New Year's pretzel recipe. So I don't know, somebody modified it, but it came out really tasty. Mine kind of turned like a rock because I overbaked. Anyways, we have an iced one my husband bought at the local grocery store this year because I was not raising and baking and mixing bread for 8 hours this year.
Well, we do have pretzels over here, but they are like these long, what do you call it? They are more straw-like.
A
And then
pretzel
a little
rods.
bit, yeah.
Okay.
So we sell them and eat them like 200 at a time or something.
It's so funny that they call them Dutch pretzels and they're not actually Dutch. I'm going to write the woman on the internet. Be like, this isn't real. I'm just kidding.
Well, there are lots of things which are called Dutch, which aren't Dutch at all, but are German. So that could be very true.
Could be one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited for that.
I get it. I
Awesome.
realized just now that I never finished the story about the drilling part, but my brother, he made a joke. He said, "Now you've learned a new technique. You can unscrew a screw with a drilling machine." So he says, in the last 3 hours of the last year, you learned something new because I wasn't planning on doing something new.
So we're about ready to close down the show here very shortly, but Lexi, before we do, I just want to know one thing. For 2022, what is the number one thing that you're going to focus on? What is that new habit? What is that habit, or what is that goal, or what is that resolution that you want to? I know that we talked about habits, goals, and resolutions. Whatever works best for you. What is that number one thing that you're going to do within 2022 that could change either your life or somebody else's life?
I'm going to do a show myself, and hopefully with one of you. That would be cool, but that's only if one of you are available, or the two of you. But that's really something I really want to do. I want to do more interviews with people. I heard that people say they are surprised that they actually open up to me, and it actually helps them heal, and that's being almost humbling, I suppose, to hear that back. So if I can do that for people, then life would be awesome.
I love it. Definitely wishing you all the best and continued success. Lexi, thank you for joining us here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and move you back down backstage and everything, but I just wanted to say Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. Definitely wishing you all the best. And we just wanted to say, oh my goodness, 2021 was absolutely amazing, and you've been a valuable part of that. And I just want to say before we go here, we're truly grateful for you, grateful for your presence, grateful for you showing up, because we do have to go over and we have to go to Zan's show.
Yeah, thank you so much to both of you. I've been so happy to get to know you. I'm waiting for my Unbreakable t-shirt.
Yes.
Then I can join you in line. And thank you so much.
I signed it.
And by the way, it's German. The pretzel is German.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. And your shirt's done. It's out. It's packaged. It's ready to go. I finished everything today.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, both of you. So
awesome. All right. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you later, Lexi. Awesome, man. I am truly grateful. Lexi is always, she's a valuable member of the Unbreakable community. She always shows up, always has valuable knowledge to share, and we are truly grateful for Lexi. All right, so we have to go and we have to go crash. I mean, we have to go provide value for Zan's show, and but before we head out, are there any final words on 2021 or moving into 2022? Do you have any final words?
I would say don't make empty promises to yourself, and to really think about whether or not those resolutions you're about to make are important to you, or if they just are something you think you should be doing. Because the more you have invested in what it is, emotionally invested in what it is that you're trying to do, the more likely you're going to actually fall through and build the habits that you need to in order to accomplish those things. And also, I love how you commented about giving yourself grace. That's absolutely essential. not to let yourself off the hook, but give yourself grace. There's a time for rest. And anytime you're building something, and it's super important to allow yourself to have that.
I love it. You know, and we talked about that earlier about giving yourself grace. More importantly, celebrate. And, you know, for a lot of people around the world, this is a day of celebration. And, you know, we celebrate the end of the new year, and then we are ready to go into the new year. And there's a lot of mixed emotions about ending the year and beginning a new year. You know, everybody always wants the new year to end or the old year to end because of so many different things that happen, whatever the case may be. And then everybody's always excited about the new year. It's like, oh man, it's a new year, and this is going to be great. But you know what? At the end of that, every day's Monday. It's still another day. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, it's still the same you. You cannot take the same you into a new year expecting different results. You have to change you first. So here's my advice. Stop blaming your inability to achieve success on what year it is, what day it is. Take ownership in the fact that you are in charge. You are in control. No matter where you are, there you are. And you have exactly what it takes to achieve anything that you want to, whether it's, you know, 2021, 2022, last day, new day, next day, new habit, new goal, whatever the case may be. My advice to you, establish better habits. And when you have better habits, you will understand that each and every day you are going to do those things that are already ingrained in you. They're already habits. They're already a daily part of your life. You see, here's the deal. I will never wish for more goals, but I will strive for better habits. I want better habits. I don't need any more goals. I don't need to make any resolution. I don't need to resolve anything because it sounds like it's an end to something. I want to keep moving. I want to keep going. I want to continue taking action because it's a journey. It's a process, and you must embrace that every single day. Take action. Take ownership. I love it. Bonnie, thank you very much. This is the start. So this was our first episode right here. This right here was the inaugural episode, and we have another friend that just bounced up, and I definitely cannot leave this episode without bringing up another one of our friends to say Happy New Year. So I want to do a quick announcement here. Miss Kever is waiting backstage, and I 100% love this lady. She is an amazing woman. She is absolutely unbreakable. Welcome to the stream, Kever. You got to unmute your mic, though.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Terry and Bonnie. I am so grateful for our unbreakable stories. I am so, so, so grateful. This is just amazing. And thank you so much for pinging me into this. I'm, working with family and doing different things today, but I was like, oh, whoa, they're online. This is a great opportunity just to say Happy New Year to everybody. I love you guys. And just thank you so much for everything. Happy 2022.
Thank you very much, Kever. You've been a tremendous friend, tremendous value each and every night. And I'm 100% grateful for you and the things that you're working on, the things that you're doing. I love your attitude. I love your smile. I love everything that you're working on. I'm truly grateful to call you a friend. I 100% am. Happy New Year, 2020 year. It's going to rock. Get ready.
Woo! Let's do it. Ta-da!
I love it. Not quite to done yet. We still got some things to do, but I tell you what, though, we will get to that to done.
Yes.
One of these days. But you know what? Like I was explaining earlier, I 100% enjoy the process, and we have a lot of work to do. 2022, we have a lot of work to do. Bonnie and I, we've been talking behind the scenes about some of the things that we're going to do within 2022. Kevin, we're grateful for you. Glad that you're going to be a part of some of those things, because I'm telling you, we are going to show up so we can show out. We're going to speak up so that we can speak out. And you've heard me say this a number of times, and your story, your voice We love it. Thank you. We just want to say thank you once again for sharing your story, because it's powerful. You have a powerful message, and you're going to change lives as well too.
Absolutely.
I have to throw something in here because I can't. It's just too cliche and obnoxious not to. But instead of Happy New Year at 12 o'clock a.m., Kevin's going to be like, 2021 is to done.
Yes, Liz. Yes, absolutely.
Sending the year out with some corniness.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Was that a mom joke?
I just thought of it, so I must have had enough coffee this evening or something.
You give me such a hard time about dad jokes so many times. I had to step in with that. Was that a mom joke?
That was totally a Bonnie Rocks joke.
I love it. Kevin, thank you very much. If there was like any one golden nugget, any advice heading into, because we unpacked a lot tonight, and I know that you missed a lot of the show here, but if there's one thing that you can kind of share to people as we end 2021 and we head into 2022, if there was a bit of advice, like, hey, someone that needs this advice heading into the new year, do you have anything that you would like to share to anybody watching either now or the replay?
Remember what you experienced in 2021, good, bad, or indifferent. Remember it, build upon it, and become greater because of it. 2022, we're going to be strong. We survived, and we're going to be strong. Build your relationships, stay strong in the unbreakable stories, and you too can be unbreakable.
I love it. Kevin, thank you very much. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for being here. We are truly 100% grateful that you are unbreakable.
Right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and tuck you backstage if you want to hang out. I know that you have some things going on as well, too, but I'm going to tuck you backstage. All right. That was absolutely amazing. Oh, my goodness. Bonnie, any final words? I know we said that again, but is there any last minute words here before we end the stream here? Because we do have to go crash Zan's live stream here shortly.
I don't think so. I think I used the last of my cleverness with that to done comment. So
I love it. Thank you very much, Bonnie. This is truly the beginning of greater things to come. We've already accomplished some great things within 2021. Both of us, we've overcome a lot of roadblocks, a lot of adversity. We've overcome a lot of the things that there were some people that were out there that was doubting us, that was saying, you know what, who are you? I remember the first time that I got on Clubhouse and I was trying to go into rooms and trying to get on stages and talk and speak and this, that, and the other. And people were like, who are you? Who are you? What are you doing? What are you doing here? And I remember those conversations very vividly. And I remember engaging with certain people, and it's like, you try to motivate people, you try to inspire people, you try to encourage and empower people. But at the end of that, people will always judge you from a place of their weakness because they do not understand your strength. And you are strong beyond comparison. You show up every single day. Bonnie, I am grateful for you because you showed me a different side to myself that I didn't believe was possible. And working with you, I just want to end on a very high note here on how 2021 has gone. I just want to let you know that I'm grateful for you, grateful for the things that you have talked to me about. You've held me up on those moments that I thought that I was down. You gave me a voice when I didn't think that I could speak. You literally gave me the things that I was missing within my life that I just didn't know were possible. And working with you over the last 5 or 6 months right here, I not only can say that you are a solid business partner, you're a friend, you're family. I'm grateful for that. You've literally shown me what is possible when I start to believe that I am possible. And I owe that to you. Thank you very much. 2021 was amazing. 2022, get ready because we're about ready to go rock 2022. Bonnie, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say that I couldn't have done all of this without you. Had I been able to, it would have already been happening. And I'm just super grateful that we were able to come together and become a team and friends and I do feel like this is our family. And it's just been an amazing few months. And you know what I'm actually really super extra grateful for, right? Just in this very moment, as we've been talking off and on this week about taking action And what are you going to do in 2021 to prepare for 2022? And damn it, we did it today. We did it. And starting 2022 the night before live is just, it's amazing. I'm so excited to be able to say that we did all these different things together, and I'm looking forward to celebrating all of the amazing things that we're going to accomplish together in 2022. And I'm so grateful for you for helping me bring to life something that just it just means so much to me. It means the world to me.
I love it, Bonnie. Thank you very much. And we have some big things going on in 2022, and we want you to get involved with us. We want you to show your support. We want you to share to the world that you are unbreakable. And there's a couple of ways in which you can do that. One, you see the link that's right there up on the screen. You can share your story today at unbreakablestories.com. And that's our website right there. And once you get over there, you will see all of the details. And it starts with this t-shirt right here. Bonnie created this absolutely amazing t-shirt. It's comfortable. I have 3 of them myself, and I love it. They're 100% comfortable shirts, and it sends a message to the world that you are unbreakable. So if you want one of these unbreakable t-shirts, you see that we had Miss Kever up here, and Lexi's about ready to get her unbreakable shirt as well too. But we've had several friends that have already purchase their unbreakable shirt, and it would mean a lot to us if you get involved as well too. And that's over at our website, which is unbreakablestories.com. You'll see all of the details. Evan Carmichael has shared his unbreakable story. I've shared mine. Bonnie has shared hers. We've had some amazing friends, to include Kever, share hers. We just recently shared another. We got many more stories to share, because it is your story that could change someone's life. Here's the deal. Someone needs to hear your story today. And it's your story of overcoming that adversity, that struggle, that roadblock within life on your way to achieving success or victory that will allow somebody else to believe that if it's possible for you, it's also possible for them. And the best way to do that is to share your story today at unbreakablestories.com. If you also want to get involved with this, there's another great way in which you can get involved with us. And that is this little printout sheet that I have right here. So this little printout right there that says, I am unbreakable. I love it. 100%. Bonnie created that as well too. So she created the I am unbreakable printable. And that is at the scrollable link that's right there, scrolling across the bottom half of the screen. And that's unbreakablestories.com/share. And if you head over to that link right there, that's how you can get involved. That's how you can literally share to the world that you are unbreakable. So when you go over to unbreakablestories.com/share, you will see all of the details right there. It's super easy for you to get involved with us over there. All we're asking you to do is to print out that little sheet right there. That's it. Print out that sheet. Take a picture. I just shared the link right there within the chat on YouTube. And I also just shared it over here on Facebook as well too. So whether you're watching us on YouTube or whether you're watching us on Facebook, I just put the links right there. Okay. And that's how you can get involved with this. Go over to that link right there, unbreakablestories.com/share, and then print out the sheet. Print out the sheet. Take a picture of yourself. Matter of fact, if you're watching and you do want to take a picture right now, here's what I want you to do. Bonnie, go ahead and hold up your sheet. If you're watching this stream right here, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull out your phone, and I want you to take a picture of your screen of me and Bonnie right here. So I'm going to try to stand off to the side right here. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to pull out your phone, take a picture of me and Bonnie holding up this piece of paper right here. And I want you to share it across your social media. Share it on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and tag Unbreakable Stories that you watched us live on YouTube, and share this. Tag us. We will reshare it. And that's one way another great way that you can share your support is sharing that you watched us live right here on YouTube or Facebook across your social media platforms. It would mean a lot to us. And here's what we're doing. We are taking the best pictures that have been shared on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and we're resharing them. We're reposting them across our social media platforms. And here's the fun part. Here's the really cool part. We're also sharing it on our website. We're sharing it on our website. That's right. If you go to unbreakablestories.com/share, you will see some amazing pictures of absolutely amazing friends who have already showed the world that, you know what? I am unbreakable. Bonnie, thank you for everything. Here's to 2022. Here's to your success. Here's to our success.
Our success.
I love it. Everybody, have a great night and never forget that you are unbreakable.